Hello guys. Before this video starts, I'm gonna say that there might be some swearing, probably on this video, but not other videos I'm gonna watch. The other videos would not be it actually happened. I hope not. And I'll just try. Just so you know, the picture of this is pretty weird, and for such a story about someone about sleepwalking, it has a pretty weird picture. I mean, look at all this. This picture just shows too much of the. It shows too much of the body. It just makes me disappointed to see that these guys do this to females in this world. Most of these pictures aren't that bad with the little girl with females such as this, or almost all these pictures are bad. This is the picture this is the video I'm currently watching. And that picture looks like cancer. You get this. Most of the times they just do this for clicking. That's why they get so much views, because of these pictures.
All tend to make mistakes and fail, and we all feel bad about it afterward.
Yes.
But what if I told you that a fatal mistake I made once?
Fatal, yes. Wait, fatal? Fatal means death. This does not sound good.
Worthy that I started suffering from a dramatic form of a sleepwalking disorder. In other words, I turned into a sleepwalker. It all happened.
There was this one time I sleptwalk, and this happened because my body smelled the nice, wonderful smells of guacamole, and I hated guacamole, but my body thought, maybe a lot tastier. It forces my entire body to get guacamole. It was fantastic because my siblings were explaining that me being sleepwalking, I just shoved through everyone and pushed everyone across the way. But I wasn't those type of sleepwalkers who raise their hands out. I wish I was, but I'm not.
Many years ago, on a beautiful summer morning,
wait, hold on. I was one of those. Oh, great! And that means I'm officially a zombie.
Your brother Gavin was only 4. We snuck out of the house and ran to the river to go for a swim.
I snuck out the house, guys, and my mom didn't call me at all.
We had so much fun. We were playing hide and seek, and it was my turn to be the seeker. I looked for Gavin everywhere. Honestly, I knew he was really good at
Oh wow! It's like, where could this little rascal be?
hiding, but at one point, I realized he just...
Well, the picture I just saying doesn't look that bad, but why did they have to make it look like that? I mean, is this animator obsessed with this type of stuff? I can't.
First in New York State, when you have already profoundly we've decided to reach even higher.
having trouble sleeping.
Hold on,
I would occasionally... There are no... Something horrible had happened. Finally found. Burst into tears and told...
I think I actually clicked on the video, and now I'm even farther than before.
Everything to my parents. It was all over.
But I can say, they're playing hide and seek. She couldn't find the missing child. That's this kid. They later on find him dead in the river.
They looked for Gavin for 2 days until he was finally found. He must have been carried away by the current and never made it out of the water. There are no words in the world that could even remotely describe my parents' grief.
And just what's the weirdest? For some reason, after making that, wait, you guys may not even know, because I hadn't even posted a video of the character. But after I made this character that has outline, the other segments I made, It just looks like I just need to add an outlining on them. But that's be kind of hard because I can't just draw an outlining on them because I need to make sure it fits. But these guys draw outlining, so it can't be that bad, right?
They were both absolutely broken. As for me, I was stunned and scared to death. I felt like a monster. I had done the most horrible thing ever, and there was no way to go back, to get Gavin back. My dad was a very generous and kind person. He realized I hadn't meant for all this to happen, so he found the strength to support me and to forgive me. But not my mother. She tried to avoid me, and she couldn't even look me in the eye anymore. It was really painful, but I knew I deserved it. Time went on, but things were not getting any better. Not long
welcome welcome to my house. On my clock, it's always suppressed day.
afterward, I started having trouble sleeping. I would occasionally wake up in the kitchen or in the bathroom, turning the tap on without realizing what I was doing. But in most cases, I would go to Gavin's room and tidy up or play theater with his toys.
Wait, hold on. How can an unconscious body do this when sleeping?
Just like I used to do when I played with him.
Oh no. I think this thing did much more worse than just sleepwalking. Much worse.
I even sang lullabies in front of his empty bed.
Yep, I think when you fall asleep your body thinks, "Oh man, it's time to go talk to my now dead brother."
It was so weird of me. Of course, my parents heard the noise at night and would always come in to check on me. My mother would get furious every time she would find me in Gavin's bedroom. She was just shaking with anger. And of course, she didn't believe I was sleepwalking. She was sure I had gone to my brother's room to annoy her and make her feel even worse.
Oh wow.
And even after my father took me to the doctor, who confirmed my diagnosis, this still did not convince my mother otherwise. Months went by, then years. My life turned into torture. My sleepwalking was getting worse, and there were no pills that could help me. Almost 10 years has passed since my brother drowned in the river, and with each passing day, my mother would hate and abuse me more and more. She would never waste the chance to tell me off for my grades or my unwashed dishes, or for anything she could, actually. Of course, I was never allowed to go out with friends.
It's like
Or go to parties. And at the same time, I wasn't very eager to go anyway, to be honest. I think subconsciously, I felt like I didn't have the right to have any kind of fun. But one day, things just got out of control. The night before it happened, I sleepwalked again and went into Gavin's room. I woke up standing on the table with his favorite teddy bear in my hands.
No, that's not good.
She's doing it again. She's driving me crazy. She grabbed me and pushed me out the door of his room. I couldn't sleep a wink that night.
God.
I was hugging Gavin's teddy bear and crying, and of course I was very sleepy at school the next day. So I was sitting in my history class, doing my best to not let my eyes close, but suddenly I realized I was not sitting anymore. I was standing in the middle of the classroom. Everybody was staring at me. My teacher's face was red, and he angrily asked me, "Why are you misbehaving during my lesson? What are you even thinking?" And as usual, I didn't remember anything. So I didn't even have the slightest idea what kind of crazy stuff I had done that time. I learned about it later in the principal's office, when the teacher was telling the story to my parents. I was walking back and forth with my eyes wide open, crying out some senseless words. My dad immediately saved the situation and told them about my sleep issues. It was convincing enough for both the history teacher and the principal, but as usual, not for my mother. When we got back home, we had a horrible fight.
Jeez.
She said she felt like I was a curse for her and that she wished that it was me who had drowned in that lake, not my brother. It cut me more than hundreds of pieces of glass shards could. Even though my dad stood his ground and tried to back me up, nothing really mattered anymore. I couldn't get those horrible words out of my head. They kept on spinning around and
Wow, I can't believe this girl's getting treated like this just because she accidentally drowned, just because she accidentally caused her brother to drown.
around like a record. And that was the beginning of the end. As I was laying in my bed, I promised myself that I would never let my mom hurt me again. And my body hurt me. I woke up at 4 a.m. to some horrible screaming. I found myself in my parents' room. I was standing over my mother's head, holding one of my father's dumbbells.
Oh, jeez. Her body's trying to kill her mother.
You can't imagine how terrified I was.
I think her body has self-conscious when she falls asleep. What? After hearing that, her body, when she falls asleep, like, oh yes, it's time to take control. The first thing to do is kill the mother with high blood trauma.
I immediately threw it on the floor and ran away. I locked myself in my room and covered my ears. I didn't want to hear any more insults from my mom, and there was no way to tell her I didn't mean to hurt her. In the morning, my dad came into the room. He looked really miserable. I asked him what had happened and had already guessed myself, though. My mother had packed up and left for the hills.
No.
She also took most of Gavin's stuff with her, and the teddy bear as well. After that, my father and I didn't hear from her for a couple of weeks, maybe even more. It was all just killing me. No matter how much my mom hated me, I still loved her, and I wanted her to come back.
After what happened?
I had almost lost any hope of seeing her again, until one day. It was the anniversary of Gavin's death, the blackest day of the year. And it was the first anniversary my father and I had spent without my mom. She didn't even call us or pick up the phone when my dad called her. It seemed she had just erased both of us from her life. That was the moment I really started to think it would have been better if I had drowned in the lake and not Gavin. I was lying on the sofa in the living room when I heard a giggle. My heart started beating faster. I could swear that it was Gavin. I jumped. My heart started beating faster. I could swear that it was Gavin. I jumped on my feet and went to his room. The light was back on, and the teddy bear was sitting in the middle of the room.
Isn't that just right, guys? You are no.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Is Mom back? I thought.
I guess. Science. If you want to make sure that a character's outlines are perfectly matching, make sure that where the lines ends to the other part of the limb, make sure that there's no outline to that, or else you will be dealing with a lot more problems than just that.
Then I heard that giggle again. I followed it and went out of the house. My feet got wet and cold because I hadn't even put my shoes on, but I didn't care. I kept on following those giggles, and I finally saw him. I saw a little figure in the bushes. I couldn't see him properly in the dark, but I was sure it was him. He was wearing the same cute trunks, and he hadn't changed a bit since I saw him last time, 10 years ago. I looked around and realized we were standing at the bank of that very river.
Oh no, I'm not sure if this kid managed to survive that or he's just a spirit.
I felt tears streaming down my face. I wept and cried out, I am so sorry, Gavin. Please forgive me. But he only gave me another giggle and suddenly jumped into... It didn't take me long to jump after him. I couldn't let this happen again. I tried to grab him, but then I felt somebody grab me. After a moment, I found myself lying on the ground. I was slowly coming back to my senses when I saw
Oh no.
a familiar face. It was my mother. She was holding me in her arms and crying. She kept on repeating, "Don't you ever do that again." It was all just a dream. I never used to remember my dreams before, but I had remembered this one so clearly that I could have sworn it was real. I told my mother everything in detail. She was listening to me very carefully, and I saw that she believed me. Then she told me she had been sitting near the lake during that whole evening. She didn't feel like there was another place for her to go on the anniversary of Gavin's death. And then she saw me with my eyes wide open. I was barefoot, wearing my pajamas. She asked me why I had come, but I didn't say anything. I just jumped into the water. My mom said she had gotten so scared for me that she rushed to the lake to rescue me. It's weird to say this, but I don't think my mom or I had ever felt happier on such an unhappy day. We accepted what had happened, and finally let it.
I don't think I'm making jokes on this anymore. That's kind of real. Having a sleepwalk and letting that happen, that's kind of real. That happens to lots of people. Sometimes.
I really wish you was sleepwalking while dancing. Like,
what type of dance will you see me doing then?
Oh, at that time, Fortnite didn't came out, so I don't know.
You know what dance I'll be doing? My
The
my
pumpernickel, the terrible looking pumpernickel you did when he was like
10 years old.
Yeah.
No, I think I was like 8, just 7 years old at that time. Pretty young.
Maybe like 9 years old.
Papa was even 0 years old. Let's take these limit. Let's find one of the weirdest pictures and take a look at it.
The one about like.
Oh. Okay. This was 7 hours ago?
Hi guys, my name is Sarah.
Oh, jeez. This animation looks worse. Like the last moment, you get.
Hi guys, I'm Jerry.
Oh man, what am I looking at? What?
Hello, I'm Carly. I'm 17 now.
What happened to the animation? Oh, this is getting worse, isn't it? Not any better. I never took a good look at what I see. Now I see how bad the animations are.
Everyone, my name is
Oh
Kara.
my god. Back at 2 months ago, it looks bad. But hey, at least they actually showed the animation instead of just.
Hi everybody.
I think the animation was a lot more realistic than before. At least you didn't get so much weird pictures. But now we go to today. It's just a disaster. Every time I swipe, I would always go 1 month. That's just annoying. 1 year, okay. Oh jeez, this animation isn't getting this. Oh man, it's starting to turn into those like. It's starting to turn from normal animations to basically animations that you'll find on wait, what's the name? Yeah. I don't remember.
Hi, I'm Laura.
I think it was called. It's what usually makes those little Caillou videos. I can't remember.
It's about 2 a.m. when I'm writing this story, and I already know that tomorrow I will feel horrible because of this. And that's pretty much the story of my life. Okay, let me tell you how it happens every day.
Makes sense. It's called Go Animate. It took me quite a while for me to actually think of that again. The first video ever made.
In one of my management classes, I sit in the same seat in the front every day. Every single day I sit there.
Oh wow. I think that gives a good point on the.
Hi guys.
No, forget it. That I did was a complete failure. What's? Yes. To avoid getting demonetized, they gave this person like some sort of bra that's literally something else, like some sort of like undershirt that's basically only covering her top area. That's her same skin color. Good thinking to avoid copyright. And also, what am I looking at? Remember when I was talking about Go Animate? This picture right here looks good, but when I look at it,
I was
literally Go Animate. Kind of funny, right?
trouble, which made me troublesome to my parents, but they still love me, nonetheless. I remember when I was just 7 years old, I always imagined that I was old enough to have a
I'm very surprised that this person managed to make Go Animate really good.
boyfriend, and I have sweet images in my mind with me and my unknown boyfriend. That's why, growing
Never mind, they still have the same monkey animations.
up, I have a lot of crushes. But it always hurts because they don't always, have a crush on me too. But I'm cool, I just shrug it off. At the age of 12, I got my first ever
I can't anymore, I can't. Okay. Already starting off with war, we already started off with war.
Hi, I'm Tamsin, and although I'm only 17, I'm pregnant for the second time in my life already, and I won't lie.
Oh. For a second I thought I said I thought I said I ate. Hold on. Okay, the picture, the shadow looks weird, but when we look at that, it looks like she's eating her brother. But now since I'm looking a bit harder at what's happening here, I'm now disgusted. Good picture, but a horrible person. Look at this.
My name is Zoe.
I don't think anyone talks with the mouth moving at light speed.
I'm 16 years old, and I want to tell you my crazy story. I summoned my cat.
That doesn't. This guy.
No, I'm not a witch or a...
This guy summoned a cat. That reminds me of something. Something that I wish I should never ever have seen in my entire life. But still.
Wicker, nor did I make a deal with the devil. Let
I like.
me tell you exactly what happened to me. Let me tell you my story. As a
My story animated.
kid, I was always into really weird things like painting rocks or collecting coins. But more than anything else, I was deeply fascinated with the paranormal. All of the typical stuff like reading ghost stories, playing with Ouija boards, and, of course, trying to contact the dead. But one particular summer day when I was 11 years old, I tried something new.
The way this character is designed gives me a bit of a question. Okay, this character is not like the other character. Maybe I should do that, but that's gonna put too much work on this little character. Plus, I already spent several hours building this character. This already looks hard enough to build. Why? But let's just continue.
Spells!
It says spells as he just plays it.
That day I went online and looked up a list of easy spells to do at home. It came up with a few websites, and the first one had a list of spells and incantations that you can try at home. The first one...
So says bad is like the picture shows say bad, but this guy is basically testing spells on a cat. That doesn't really sound that bad.
that I tried to do was a fairy spell. And I ended up finding something. It was on a weird, sketchier website that was advertising ways to do real spells, concoctions, love potions, and all that fancy mystery jazz. Now, as an animal lover,
It's called Summon a Cat.
this immediately caught my attention. To summon a cat familiar, the steps were pretty simple, albeit a little strange. Step number 1 was to take a piece of paper and draw the cat that you want on it. Next, you had to put it under your pillow and kiss it every night before you go
Okay, this is weird.
to bed. Weird, I know.
Wow, he even thinks about that too.
I already wanted a cat of my own so badly, and at this point I was just absolutely desperate. I did all the steps and went on with my day. Flash forward to 5 days after I started. According to the spell website, this was the day that the cat was supposed to appear. The website told me to go out and look for the cat at 5 o'clock.
It seems like a way for these guys to just come out of the middle of nowhere and just kidnap this kid.
I did. And as you maybe already guessed, I didn't find it. But
His arm was disconnected from
it
his
was
body.
5, and so I did. And as you maybe already guessed, I didn't find it. But I still held out hope, as the website said that if you don't find the cat, just wait a while, and it will come to you. I went on with my day and honestly completely forgot about the cat. Deep down, though, I was still disappointed that I didn't find it. Since it was a school day, my bedtime was around 9, so I got ready. I brushed my teeth, changed into my pajamas, and got into bed. I lied in bed trying to fall asleep, but just couldn't for some reason. I kept fidgeting. Around 30 minutes later, oh my god, you won't believe what happened. Okay.
This guy found the cat? Unique, huh?
So there I was, with my eyes closed. I forgot to tell you my window was open because, well, it was summer and it was hot. Anyway, I heard a soft meow coming from outside my window.
Should we leave the window open? Man, that reminds me of those memories when I was sleeping with the nice cold air outside, when I'm hearing lots of cars honking, driving.
Crashing.
Yes, sometimes gunshots, but who really cares?
Thought I was just hearing things because, well, I really, really wanted it to be true. But then I heard my parents through the wall talking about how there's a cat meowing outside her front door. I ran down and out faster than Usain Bolt at the Olympics.
Bolt of the Olympics.
Black cat. It was small and skinny and had a mane of fluff around its neck like a lion's, with the most beautiful olive green eyes. The next day, we started putting up posters, asking around if anyone had lost a cat. Nothing showed up, and no one came to get it. So we decided to keep it.
Yeah.
I'm now 16 years old, and I'm still living with my beautiful black cat.
It did not explain on how he got the cat. Am I missing something?
Everything from lighting candles to drawing pentagrams.
Yeah, you gotta subscribe to Killer Gamer. Because he has more subscribers than me.
So you gotta unsubscribe.
What the?
Yes. What? Hold on.
What the? Message redacted.
What's going on? No! Top secret?
What the fuck is that? What?